It's 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV. 5 things you need to know for Election Day, November 5th, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert. Program note, tomorrow's program will be coming to you later in the day, probably mid-afternoon, because Sharon and I have been invited to go down to Morningside. We'll be part of the live election night coverage on the PTL network beginning at 8 p.m. Central Time tonight. That's UTC-6 if you're watching elsewhere in the world. You can stream it live at ptlnetwork.com. If you got a PTL app on your mobile device, you can watch there. Or if you've got it on Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV, even Google TV, Android TV, you can watch the live stream there. Again, it begins at 8 p.m. and will probably go until 1 in the morning. And so we'll be sleeping in tomorrow. So tomorrow's 5 and 10 will be coming to you later in the day. Item number 5 today, of course, Election Day. This is it, the strangest presidential campaign that we have seen in, I would say, more than 100 years. Certainly in my lifetime. This may be the weirdest campaign since 1864 during the Civil War. Choice between two candidates with very different views. Donald Trump, who admittedly is a flawed man. I would suggest that his ego probably argues for him being a good president because he wants to be remembered as a great man, not as just a real estate developer and the host of a popular reality TV show. He's putting America first, protecting American businesses and workers. He's actually a constitutionalist in wanting to return power to the states and take it away from the federal government, which is why the deep state is so opposed to his getting back in the White House. Also, his goals of de-escalating the conflict in Ukraine, which the neocons have been using to try to provoke a war with Russia. This is why neocons like Bill Kristol, Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney are shifting back to the Democratic Party from whence they came back in the late 70s and early 80s. On the other side, you've got Kamala Harris, who is an empty suit, quite frankly. She has flipped on most of the policies that she claimed to support when she ran for president back in 2019. You remember she was polling in the low single digits back in 2019, dropped out of the race before the first primary was held because she was behind Beto O'Rourke. You remember him? In her home state of California, she was trailing the two old white guys, Biden and Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren in her home state where she was a senator. And so to try to get elected, she has flip-flopped on many of those policies like gun control, single-payer health care, the border wall, and so on. Her platform can be summed up in a few points. I'm not Trump. Trump is Hitler. Universal access to abortion. Legalize recreational marijuana. Free money for various and sundry groups. First-time homebuyers, new businesses, as long as you're the right skin color. Things that the president doesn't have the power to do under the Constitution, I would point out. And finally, Trump is Hitler. That's basically what they're running on. Item number 4, the polls. So how do things look coming into the election? National polls showing Harris with a slight lead in the popular vote, but again, that doesn't matter. It's the Electoral College that determines the winner, and there are 7 swing states that hold the key to victory for both candidates. These would be Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada, and Arizona. And as of the last available polls, Trump is showing a slim lead in those 7 states. Now, there are betting websites that where people will put money down based on who they think is going to win, and Trump is holding a lead in that. So people who are basically putting their money where their mouths are, thinking that Trump is going to wind up winning. In terms of averages, the 538 model, 538 is the number of electoral votes that are out there, so you need 270 to get a majority and win. 538's model now assigning just a 49% probability of a Trump win and a 51% probability of a Harris win. Now, this is a flip from over the weekend when Trump was showing a slight lead in probability. Pollster Nate Silver showing 49 and 50% chance of victory, respectively. Again, showing that Harris now has a slight edge in the Electoral College, according to their polls. This is a flip from the end of last week when Trump was 3 or 4 percentage points ahead. I am not sure what has come in these latest polls over the weekend that would constitute a 3 or 4 point shift in favor of Kamala Harris. Certainly her appearance on Saturday Night Live didn't do it. I think oversampling of Democratic voters. Remember that 538 back in 2016 gave Hillary Clinton a 71% chance of winning going into the election. So take these with a grain of salt. Anyway, Republicans are clearly favored to win control of the Senate. 538 saying it's a 90% probability. That's probably a good bet. The House, neck and neck, slight favor, leaning slightly Democrat, but we'll see. We just pray for the election results to come in within the next 24 hours and for a peaceful transition regardless of who wins. And I will say again, Christians, remember, regardless of what happens tomorrow or in the weeks ahead, if there are legal challenges, and there are armies of lawyers that have already been deployed by both parties, remember, God is still on his throne, and whatever happens, he will not slap himself on the forehead and say, boy, I didn't see that coming. Whatever happens, it's because he's allowing it. Topic number 3, the border. The border keeps moving further north because opening the border is affecting school classrooms well away from the southern border and from the Canadian border, which is now nearly as open as Mexico's. Parents in Northern Virginia's Loudoun County saw a demonstration of reality early in October. The county school board shut down debate, public discussion about an alleged illegal alien and member of the violent gang MS-13 in the county's school system. On October 8th, Loudoun County parents raised concerns about the presence of an unnamed illegal alien, alleged, gotta say, who is also an alleged member of the gang MS-13. According to ABC 7 News in the area, the student, quote, now attends Loudoun Valley High School despite being caught carrying a gun in May 2023 and making a threat to kill a Blue Ridge Middle School student, end quote. Several parents spoke, but in each case, Loudoun County School Board Chair Melinda Mansfield cut off the parents. Her main concern apparently being that Loudoun County residents might potentially reveal personal information about the alleged illegal alien gang member. Eventually, the school board chair, Melinda Mansfield, closed public comment portion of the meeting. Parents have responded recently by filing a lawsuit against the Loudoun County School Board for violating their First Amendment rights. In September, in Harford and Baltimore counties, Maryland, Fox 45 broke a story about an MS-13 gang member and murder suspect allowed to enroll in not just one but 2 public high schools. Parents were outraged because they'd been kept in the dark by the school boards about a dangerous individual attending school with their children. In fact, MS-13 has been a growing presence in the counties of Maryland and Virginia around Washington, D.C. because of the mass illegal migration from MS-13's country of origin over the past 10 years. However, what we're seeing is that for mass illegal migration apologists like Kamala Harris, Alejandro Mayorkas, the head of the Department of Homeland Security, the real problem is not that illegal immigration is bringing gangs into our classrooms, it's that parents are noticing and speaking out about it. Item number 2, poking the bear. Again, back to the item about provoking war with Russia. Another key issue on the ballot is whether the United States will keep using NATO to try to get us into World War III. To that end, U.S. Army, NATO, and Africa on Monday launched what's being described as NATO's largest artillery drills. It's called Lightning Strike 24. It's being held in Lapland, Finland's northernmost region, which is right on the border with Russia. That's the area on the right side of the map back there. This comes at a moment, ironically, when many Western countries are complaining that their stockpiles of artillery shells have been depleted because we've been sending them to Ukraine for the last 2.5 years. Drills are expected to last through November 28th. And bring in other locations beyond Finland, Germany, Poland, Romania, Estonia. But Lapland, Finland, that's the one that Russia is going to be most interested in watching, given that they share an 830-mile-long border there between Finland and Russia. Finland and its neighbor Sweden, the 2 most recent additions to NATO, they both joined in April of this year, or April of 2023, I should say. And again, sharing a long 830-mile border with Russia, kind of an interesting place for NATO to be holding its largest artillery drills ever. Coming up, Kamala Harris has what could be the most embarrassing moment of an embarrassing presidential campaign? I will explain next on 5 and 10.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can watch this incredible new documentary by the legendary Steve Quayle along with writer and co-producer Daniel Holdings right now by streaming it at skywatchtvstore.com/stream. Follow the QR code on your screen right now to stream it instantly or get your very own physical DVD copy when you order the Earth in the Crosshairs special offer. Earth in the Crosshairs demonstrates how the literal gates of hell have opened and what it means for all of mankind. This incredible new film takes you on a journey that examines the trans-dimensional invasion occurring on planet Earth right now and what the Bible has to say about the end times. Featuring Steve Quayle, Daniel Holdings, Dr. Travis Taylor, Cliff Mahudi, Marcellus Medina, Jesse G., William Henry, and more. But that's not all. When you order the Earth in the Crosshairs special offer, you'll also receive the 2 DVD collection Unmasking the Ancient Gods featuring Derek and Sharon Gilbert. Join them as they walk you step by step through full-length presentations on subjects like epigenetics and the age of the machine, self-directed apotheosis, return of the great old ones, Crowley, Chaos, and E.T. Disclosure, charting the uttermost north, why Gog of Magog won't be human, and many, many more. You'll also receive The Assyrian on DVD featuring the one and only Ryan Pitterson. This special report exposes the dark blueprint of the end times Antichrist that has been hidden within the ancient texts, illuminating a plot set in motion now that will introduce the mysterious Assyrian of the book of Isaiah, who is set to return very soon. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of $100. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. So don't delay. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Earth in the Crosshairs special offer.
Item number 1 today, embarrassing. This is what you call bringing up the subject of pork when you're being interviewed by a Muslim. I mean, how delicious bacon is. This happened back in the summer, shortly after she was handed the nomination by Democrats, again, without a single primary vote. Kamala booked an interview with a program called Subway Takes. This is a show on Instagram hosted by a New York City influencer Muslim named Kareem Rahma. So now, first, she refused to talk about the war between Israel and Iran's proxies. She instead spent her time trying to convince him that bacon is a spice. Now remember, she's on a show hosted by a Muslim, and for Muslims, pork is forbidden, just as it is for Jews. Now, Rama's show usually brings in guests and has them defending just a kind of a light, frivolous topic. It's sort of a lighthearted program. But Rama told the New York Times that he believed the subject of the war between Israel and Iran's proxies was important enough for him to break protocol and change his format a bit. But Harris's campaign said, nope, we're not going to talk about that. Kamala is going to defend the subject of people not removing their shoes, why people shouldn't remove their shoes on airlines. Okay. When the two of them sat down, however, Kamala decided to go with the bacon is a spice subject, which made Rama uncomfortable. Again, he's a Muslim. They don't eat pork. He stopped the interview, said, let's go back to the subject of shoeless passengers on airlines. And so Kamala pivoted to talking about why she likes anchovies on pizza. Ultimately, Rama decided not to air the program at all because he said it was boring. But again, this is why Kamala didn't do the Joe Rogan program like Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. 3 hours of unscripted questions. She couldn't handle an unscripted program for Instagram about a single topic. God help us. The Resurrection War. This is Skywatch TV's next virtual conference. The Defender Conference coming up November 30th. Yes, November 30th is when we release all of the video content to you for you to set the conference schedule. You decide what to watch and when to watch it. Top-notch speakers, of course, all of us from Skywatch TV, but friends like Ryan Pitterson, Carl Gallups, Messianic Rabbi Zev Porat, Dr. Judd Burton, Dr. Mike Spalding, Dr. Doug Hamp, Dr. Igal Gamrat. We got some academics lined up for many more. Vicki Joy Anderson, please go to the website and you can see who all will be producing content for this conference. And if you take advantage of it's just a week and a half now, through November 15th, you get $10 off the normal $95 rate. Get it for $85, 90 days access to all of the content beginning November 30th. Registration and information at defenderconference.com. What's the deal with those spiral things appearing in the sky? The Norway spiral, the one over Hawaii and more. Are these portals? I mean, seriously. And what's coming through, if so? This is one of the topics addressed by Steve Quayle's new documentary, Earth in the Crosshairs. Co-producer and writer Daniel Holdings joins us on the main program this week. You can watch it right now at our website, skywatchtv.com. All of our video content is always there. You can also catch it over the air, our broadcast schedule, posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. Now, if you've got a set-top box like Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, or a smart TV, Roku or Fire TV, please get the Skywatch TV channel installed. And then you can watch the program there, all of our video content, in fact, over the internet, youtube.com/@skywatchtelevision or rumble.com/skywatchtv. Mobile app, add that to your smartphone or tablet and bring the content right into the palm of your hand, whether you're holding iOS, Android, or an Amazon Kindle Fire device, phone or tablet. We've got links to all of their app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. Remember, tomorrow we will be coming to you later in the day, hopefully with final results from the presidential, Senate, and House elections. Tonight, again, we will be on the PTL network, broadcasting live beginning at 8 p.m. Central Time, UTC-6, streamed at ptlnetwork.com or on the PTL app for iOS, Android, Amazon Kindle Fire, Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Check us out tonight as we follow the results coming in and try to address it from a Christian perspective, not get caught up in the sports analogies about who is winning. Ultimately, Christ wins. Things may look a little different here on earth and not go the way we would prefer, but at the end of the day, the King is still on the throne. Thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.